I'd like to introduce Bruno Maraca, who is the CEO of the AFRM Claims Advocacy. Bruno is passionate about advocating for others. He's got over 20 years of experience in the financial service industry and recently established AFRM Claims Advocacy to support patients to balance their physical, emotional and financial well-being. Today, Bruno will be discussing how a personal insurance claim can support those within the myeloma community. Thanks, Bruno.
Thank you, Megan. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to be introduced to the Myeloma Australia community. We've recently partnered with Myeloma Australia, and it's very evident how passionate the team is in relation to making a difference, and we would love to be able to contribute to that. As was touched on, what I'm speaking to today really is about personal insurance. Personal insurance is insurance that is available to those who are injured or ill, and it may or may not apply to those in the audience today, but it might be some information just the same. So I'll go over to the slides. So just bear with me for a sec. Sorry, is someone moving the slides on, or? Yep, here we are. Our purpose is essentially to, our purpose being AFRM Claims Advocacy's purpose is really to improve the well-being of patients and therefore reduce their financial stress. We recognise when someone is injured or ill, often it impacts their both their physical and emotional well-being, but also their financial well-being. Sometimes they're not able to work, whether it be at all or for a short period of time, and that can place financial stress. So we look to alleviate that financial stress, and how we do that is mainly through that process of exploring the personal insurance. I don't seem to have the clicker on the screen, sorry. Apologies for the technical piece. We'll certainly get there. Just a moment. I just want to make this screen a bit bigger. So what is personal insurance? So essentially personal insurance is, its intent is to support those who are injured or ill. It's often purchased directly, so people who have purchased it through their financial advisor, for example, or second to that, it may in fact be default insurance, what we call default insurance within a super fund. Now, not many people know that they have personal insurance in a super fund. In actual fact, and I'll touch on this later, but the research suggests that less than 40% of people are aware. But there is personal insurance in your super fund, and we'll cover that off in detail shortly. And the theme about that also is that if you do put a claim in for your personal insurance, it does not impact your super balance. So they are totally separate, although the insurance may be found within your super fund. So the four types of insurance, we have income protection, TPD or total and permanent disability, trauma cover, and death cover. So I'll just touch on each of these. So income protection is there to replace your income if you're not able to work, and it often replaces about up to 75% of your income before your injury. Total and permanent disability cover, or TPD, is a lump sum benefit if you're not able to ever work again. Trauma cover is there to be paid to the policy owner as a lump sum benefit upon a significant diagnosis like cancer, stroke, etc. And death benefit is essentially paid to the beneficiary upon the death of the policy owner. The themes around those personal insurance, and you may have heard of some or all of those perhaps, but the theme there is that, as I said earlier, not many people are aware that they have income protection and TPD and death benefits within their super fund. Less than 40%, in fact, the industry research will show. And the other thing that ASIC has identified is something what they call claim fatigue. What they mean by claim fatigue is that often when people aren't at their best because they are injured or ill, it becomes really challenging to go through the process on their own. And within the first 60 days, 50% of people have actually just given up on going through the TPD process on their own, because it can be quite arduous, can be quite difficult, because you're not at your best and there's a few forms to fill in, as you can imagine. What we do, AFRM Claims Advocacy, recognising that the awareness is quite low, recognising that there's claim fatigue, we're here to help those who get injured or ill. So for the myeloma community, the first step of what we do is we check eligibility. So we check those who are interested in finding out about it, we check their eligibility and whether they in fact have cover or not. So that's the first step. That entails looking at your medical details and looking at your insurance policy, and then being able to come back and say, hey, you do have cover, you have income protection and TPD or what have you, or unfortunately you don't have cover and these are the reasons for it. So the eligibility check's a really good start. Second to that, let's assume there is a claim. If there is a claim, then the way in which we handle the claim is basically we act on behalf of the client. So we speak to the insurer so we can have the client focus on their well-being. We often realise when someone's injured or ill, there's a lot of medical appointments and a lot of downtime. So we don't want to burden them with the administration of the claim. We'll obtain the relevant claim forms. We'll help complete the claim forms. We'll lodge the claim forms with the insurer. We'll keep in contact with the insurer right throughout the claim process. And whilst all this is happening, we're keeping the client up to date so that they can focus on their well-being, knowing that we're looking after their claim.
Next slide there. Great.
Thank you. So the types of claims, I touched on the eligibility is free, but the three basic, I won't use the word basic because that's one of our claim types, but the three types of claims that we have are basic, intermediate, and complex claims. A basic claim is, for example, an income protection claim. The average income protection claim there is on $52,000. An intermediate claim, I'm not sure if you can see that too well. Actually, I noticed, Megan, you're sort of reaching in there. Intermediate claim is a trauma claim. The average there is just on $200,000. And a complex claim is a TPD claim, which is the average balance is just on $260,000. So on those themes, as I mentioned earlier, our eligibility check for those within the myeloma community is free. We are a flat fee for service business. So what that means is that we have a flat fee regardless of your balance within any of those types of claims. And our basic fee is $2,800. Our intermediate fee is $3,875. And for a complex claim, it's $6,000. So that's how our three claims process occur. And the types that we have. Over to the next slide. Thank you. So in partnering with Myeloma Australia, we've sought to start the process to inform the community because, as we said earlier, the awareness often is quite low. And even if the awareness isn't quite low, often when someone's diagnosed with myeloma or any condition for that matter, it's probably not something that's top of mind. So this might act as a reminder for those to go back to their advisor or their accountant, etc., and get some support. But we're looking to inform the community through newsletters, the nursing team and the telephone support line, a website, and we've also created a dedicated website, which I'll take you through a couple of the pages of what that looks like. But you can see both a telephone address and an email address there on the screen. If you require our support, and we certainly are available to do that as well. So over to the next screen, thanks. So this is the dedicated myeloma and AFRM claims advocacy webpage. I'm hoping that most people can see the screen a lot larger than I can at the moment, but I'll leave you with the address at the end so that you can look at this in detail. But essentially, the first part is it talks about if myeloma has impacted your capacity to work, then this is how personal insurance could support you. Next page, thanks. It talks a bit about the types of personal insurance, which we touched on earlier. Income protection, TPD policies, but both of which would be available to those who have cover and have myeloma. And then a bit about the process itself. Next screen, thanks. So the process itself and our contact details. I've raced through that quite quickly, and apologies for that, but I've just given you just a bit of a flavour. That web page is available all the time for those within the myeloma community to review, and there's a free eligibility check. And if anyone has any questions, they're certainly welcome to ask the team. Next slide, thanks. Yep. So just in terms of some themes around personal insurance, it's sort of a did you know? Personal insurance is there, and its intent is to help people who are injured or ill. You are paying for it. So while you're making contributions into your super fund, or are making contributions into your super fund, a portion of that goes towards the personal insurance. It's just the insurers aren't big on telling anyone about it, and that's why we're doing what we're doing, and we're trying to create that awareness. It doesn't impact your super balance. It doesn't matter if you're diagnosed today or if you were diagnosed 10 years ago. It really doesn't matter. As long as you have an active super fund at the time, then it can be claimed retrospectively as well. One of the questions we often get asked is, look, I've got NDIS or I've got another compensation benefit. Does that mean I can't claim? No, not at all. It is policy dependent. However, often policies can work in conjunction with each other, so it's certainly worth exploring. And the other one I often get asked, which probably haven't put on here, but is it the same as private health insurance, or how does my private health insurance complement this? So private health insurance, Bupa, Medibank, all those. If you have private health insurance or you don't, it doesn't matter. This is completely different, completely separate. Often the private health insurance is helping with medical expenses. This is here to replace your income, if you like, if you don't have the capacity to work or are diagnosed with something like myeloma. Next screen, thanks. So look, AFRM claims advocacy. We are supported by the Australian Patients Association. The Australian Patients Association are I suppose the voice of the patient. They're a not-for-profit group, and they do acknowledge and value what we do with not only the myeloma community, but others. They recognise our strong governance, our strong approach to making a difference and helping people, and that's why they are of support of what we do. We've been fortunate enough to connect in with a few other groups as well as Myeloma Australia, and you can see some of the brands there. And again, the theme's the same. Let's inform and educate the communities. So if we can help alleviate some financial stress, that's terrific. It might be enough that this information we provides you a trigger to go and seek assistance from support that you may already have. And if not, we will certainly be available to help you as well. Next slide, thanks. And look, that's just our contact details there. There's a dedicated phone line and an email address, and of course our dedicated web page. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully that's provided you a bit of information about how your personal insurance might be able to help you in this current time.
Bruno, thank you so much for sharing your time today, but mainly for AFM, I'm going to say AFM, that's going to be easy for me to remember, AFRM. joining and partnering with Myeloma Australia, because I know there's been a buzz amongst my colleagues. It's been a long problem for our members. Financial toxicity is a huge burden, and anything that we can do to support that and relieve that with your knowledge and experience is going to be an incredible asset to our arsenal of support. So thank you very much for being here today.